And the reason why I'm doing this is because Opus Clip has a pretty big update, I think, in the last few weeks. And I had a user on Threads notify me. I had made a comment that I wasn't crazy about Opus Clip. They said, well, the new Opus Clip update is actually pretty good. So it's like, let's give it another go. So let's say you're relatively new at starting a live show or a podcast, anything that's kind of long form, and you've been looking into the power of AI. Several different programs out there to help you make clips for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And making clips isn't necessarily something that you're really good at, or you just don't have time to do it. And this is something that I struggle with quite a bit, in the sense that I'm currently doing 2 different shows, and finding enough time to do my own clips is pretty tough. I have come across a AI program online called Opus Clip AI that you guys see here on the screen. And I have been using it for the past, I've been familiar with it for the last year or so. I haven't used it in about 3 months. We did a review on it. It was probably just shy of 3 months ago. I didn't think the technology really was there in getting usable clips that I was happy with. So the problem was, I would upload my long form video. We'll step through all of the processes here as far as how this works on Opus Clip AI. And you can do it yourself. You can try it out for free. And then if you do kind of like it or like the idea of it, you can do what I did. I bought a whole bunch of credits that you can use, and they go off of a time credit to where you have so many hours of long form video that they'll chop up for you. You see here on the front of their website, 1 long video, 10 viral clips, create 10 times faster. And you can do horizontal, vertical. You have a few options as to, do you want 30 to 60 second clips, 60 second to, I think, like 3-minute clips, or there's an option for, I think, 5 and 10 minutes. We'll have to see when we kind of dive in there when we do our example. I tried it out for several of my podcasts. I wasn't crazy about the final videos that they were submitting back to me to use. I had to do a little extra work to them, which maybe that goes with the workflow that you're wanting, that you need something to kind of get started with, and then you can go and kind of fine tune some things. And that's something that might work for you with Opus Clip AI. I just got to a point to where it was just easier for me to ingest the long form video, bring it into Final Cut Pro, and just do it myself, spend the time to do it, and I got the clips that I wanted. But there is something to uploading it to Opus Clip AI, and within a matter of probably 5 to 10 minutes, you get a notification, and you'll have 10 to 20 clips at your disposal that you can upload even right from Opus Clip. So the idea is pretty neat. But like I said, it's been 3 months since I've even uploaded any long form video to get any clips from Opus Clip AI, even to the point to where I'm not even using the credits I've paid for. That's how much I didn't particularly care for it. Now, I would say I have very average video editing skills on Final Cut Pro on my Mac Studio, but somebody that has really very little editing experience may benefit from something like this, because if it's a matter of doing no clips versus getting some clips that maybe you're not totally happy with, but you're getting some clips to put out there, it might be worth it for you. So let's go ahead and do an example. Okay. And the reason why I'm doing this is because Opus Clip has a pretty big update, I think, in the last few weeks. And I had a user on Threads notify me. I had made a comment that I wasn't crazy about Opus Clip. And they said, well, the new Opus Clip update is actually pretty good. The editing within Opus Clip is better. So you can actually get in there and kind of modify and fine tune what they put together for you. So it's like, let's give it another go. When you go to Opus Clip, you're going to, as you see here, upload your file. Okay. And so Opus Clip, what they say is they do better clips in a interview style video format. So basically like a podcast with multiple people or whatever, but where the video has two different people on the main screen. So what I did was, my main thing for Opus Clip is doing 30 to 60-second vertical clips. And to make it easier on the AI, I went ahead and just formatted my long form video with on my second podcast that I do, Iller and Filthier, with my buddy Greg. This is the show we just recorded yesterday. And so what I did was I pulled that into Final Cut, and then I made it into just a vertical format. I didn't do hardly any editing other than maybe some audio leveling. And so we're going to bring that into Opus Clip. So I am logged in already. As you guys can see in the top right there, you can see our little Iller and Filthier icon there. You can see how many credits I have. So I'm on the Pro plan, and it expires in 190 days, and I basically have 49 hours and 35 minutes. So plenty of credit time to chop up either Iller and Filthier or the Tossing Salad podcast. So today we're going to upload about an hour's worth of content, long form vertical video, and we are going to see what kind of clips they come up with this time. And then maybe we'll dive into each of the few clips, and we'll see if we need to go in and edit them. How easy is it to edit? So this is a good opportunity for you to take a look and see what Opus Clip is about before you spend any money. And if you guys have any comments or questions, and if I don't get to them at some point in this video, just put it down in the comments and I'll try to get back to you on it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pick. And so we're going to do Iller and Filthier vertical. This was the one that I did this morning. And so you'll see the uploading 4%, 5%. So it actually goes up pretty quick. You can see there's about a minute or so that you have to wait for it to upload. It's about a minute or two for a 1 hour video. All right, so after about 2 minutes of waiting, it uploaded about an hour's worth of our long form video. And you can see on the screen that you can get clips in one click. But what you want to do is, let's see here, we're going to make sure that the captions, it auto captions for you. We're going to make sure those are on auto. Just have it auto detect, which is what I usually do. It tells you here your credit usage, so how many of your credits you're using on this particular video. And then you scroll down and you can go through, and it shows you examples of the template videos on how your video could look, the basic look of the captions and how they're displayed on your video. So for me, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of scroll through. You have one that looks like a Mr. Beast style video, one called Deep Diver. You go through, and whatever one kind of sticks out for you. And so I'm just going to pick, let's do, this one's an interesting one there, Pop Line. And we scroll down here, only add caption without the clipping. If you turn that on, we will keep your original video length and only add captions to your video. Original videos up to 15 minutes long. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but I don't think that's going to apply to the clips that we're making, because I wanted to make a bunch of 30 to 60 second vertical format clips for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So I'm going to leave that off, and we'll do a little more research on that later on. Genre video, we're going to go down here, and let's see here. It helps the AI figure out what kind of video it's dissecting and going through. And so I like to go through and pick out podcast. And so here's a real neat feature where you can get your preferred clip length. So you have auto, which is 0 to 3 minutes. You can pick under 30-second clips, 30 to 60 seconds, 60 to 90 seconds, 90 to 90 seconds to 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, or 10 to 15-minute clips. So if you have long-form video of your show, you can have it make shorter clips of your show to where they're just a little more little bite-sized pieces of your long-form show, 5 to 10 minutes, or even, it looks like 10 to 15 minutes is the longest that it would make that. And so, but we're specifically looking for vertical video, 30 to 60 seconds. So we're going to click that right there. Topic filter by keywords. I've never used this. So if you have if you were talking about something specific and you want to make sure that it keys in on that, you can type in whatever keyword you want to trigger the AI to take notice of. But we're going to leave that one blank. So now that we've kind of figured out, okay, we've got everything selected, the genre of video, 30 to 60 second clips. This is exactly what I want. So we're going to do get clips in one click. So this is the part that kind of takes a little bit longer. It sometimes, depending on how busy they are, could take up to about an hour or so. And so you'll get an email or notification of when your clips are ready to be viewed, and you can kind of go through and edit them or download them or schedule them to go and post to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're looking at the time here. It says estimated waiting time about 16 minutes. And through the magic of our own editing here, we'll go ahead and edit this part out. All right, so now the clips are finished. Let's see what Opus Clip AI has for us. So scrolling through real quickly, we have, let's just see how many clips that they came up with. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Jeez. 30 clips. So if you're struggling with making your own video clips, you're not good at it, you don't have time to do it, this could be an option for you. Now, whether or not they're good clips, we're going to find out. We're going to laser focus in on probably the top 3 or 4 that they have. They kind of grade them for you. Sometimes I think this is kind of just smoke and mirrors, but let's just see. Again, they just upgraded their AI within the last, I think it's in the last month or something. Definitely within the last 3 months since I've used it. So let's go back up to the top. Again, we selected 30 to 60 second clips. Number 1 clip that they have given us. And they title it for you. They give you grades on the hook, the flow, engagement, and trend. So if we go to, let's say what's hook? Okay, so let's read that real quick. Hook, they gave me a grade of a B for this clip. The beginning of the video catches the audience's attention by presenting futuristic inventions, but it could be more effective by starting with a statement like, imagine how our everyday lives would be transformed by these incredible inventions in just a few years. This would create a sense of anticipation and intrigue. Well, Mr. or Mrs. AI, I can't help it. I can't redo the intro for that clip because the long form video that's just what it is. But I understand they're giving you an example, so that's good. So the hook is something that captures within the first 3 seconds of that clip the viewer's attention when they click onto your clip. For the flow, they gave us an A on it. The flow is the content is coherent and complete, covering different inventions and describing their functions. The structure of discussing each invention separately is effective in providing a clear narrative flow. Engagement, they gave us an A minus. The video delivers valuable content by introducing futuristic inventions and their potential impact on daily life. To establish a stronger personal connection, the speakers could discuss how these inventions could specifically benefit different demographics or address common challenges faced by people. And then trend is basically, is it a topic that is current, that's going on? And they gave us an A on this trend. Let's read about it. The video is on point with the trending topic of futuristic technology and innovation. It provides insights into potential advancements in healthcare, mobility, and productivity. No specific suggestions for improvement in this category. So the weird thing about this, and let me just tell you what our long form video, what our podcast was about. Episode 9 of Iller and Filthier this week, this video that I uploaded, was us taking a look into Andrew McCarthy's Bratz documentary on the Brat Pack, right? So he has a documentary that came out talking to some former Brat Pack members and how being labeled the Brat Pack and the article that came out in New York Magazine and the stigma that was associated with it. So Greg and I basically went through that documentary. That has nothing to do with this clip, it sounds like. I'm just kind of curious, like, okay, my number one clip, top 3 futuristic inventions of 2024, the Pee Predictor, walking assist robot, and desk bike. I remember us talking about it, but it was such a brief interaction. Let's just see. And then there's a little pop-up thing that says, get 700,000 views for your channel. Oh, wow. Post your Opus Clip shorts to social media to gain views like other Opus Clip users. So that's just kind of an ad for Opus Clip. You're not going to get 700,000 views. So let's just take a look, okay? This is the number one clip.
So after all these cool inventions that kind of helped us move forward in the world, in 2024, we have a need to pee predictor, which is exactly what it sounds like. So it lets you know that you have to pee.
Right.
Which, I mean, I always have to pee. So, I mean, I don't know how you don't know. A walking assist robot. It's like this thing you strap on your legs and it actually like helps your legs. It's like a whole device thing that you get in and it like kind of helps you walk.
Like an exoskeleton?
Yeah, it's kind of like a lower body thing.
Right.
But it's more to just kind of take the pressure off and help, you know, I suppose if you have issues or maybe takes pain out of the way. And then a desk bike. So like a bike that you sit at your desk that will charge your phone. That just seems like a lot of work.
So that's my number one clip. Now that was the end segment of our show, to where we had a segment called I Saw It on the Internet, and Greg was showing me some things that he had seen on the internet to get my take on it. And I remember going through it, and it was fine for the show, but it was such a small moment. And to see that part as our number one clip, I'm kind of just puzzled. I'm like, okay, but I'm not a master social media person. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But this right here, they're saying the score, the rating on this is 99 out of 100. That's our number one clip that they made. So they're making it sound like you can't go wrong with this clip. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and download it as is. I'm not going to even go in and edit it, because what I want to do is take it as they give it to me, right? If this is my number one clip, I really shouldn't have any work to do with it. The caption's fine. It's right in the middle, so it's not blocking anybody's face. So you see a little download button. You can download in HD, and we're downloading it. All right. Let's go see the number 2 and number 3 clip. The number 2 clip, time travel in movies, how Back to the Future would look today. Just real quick, the grades, it gives us a 98 out of 100 score, A- for hook, A- for flow, A for engagement, A- for trend. I'm not going to read through them quite frankly, after going through the first one and then I'm just being reminded of going through this 3 months ago. I think this is a lot of fluff that they give you. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. We're just here to see the clip, to see if the clip's good, right? But they give A-, A-, A, and A-. This is our number 2 best clip. And so you're like, okay, I'm excited. And I am excited to see. Because sometimes there are diamonds in the rough that the AI will produce for you. And again, if you're not good at editing, you don't have time to do it, this is a good way to get a bunch of clips and just get them posted. So let's see what the second clip is all about.
Yeah, it's but when when I see these, it just blows my mind. Like I saw one not too long ago that said, like, if Back to the Future was made today, they would go back in time to 1994. I mean, if you think about that movie and how far the 50s felt, like when they went back, and like it was like another world, right? And so it's just funny to think that if you traveled back. So when I think about 2024, 1981, and 1938,
that's the second best clip. Okay, and nothing. I mean, we had a good show. When you look at the whole big picture of the show, it was a good show. For this to be this top AI clip that they made from our show, which again, this is from the segment at the very end. I saw it on the internet. Has nothing to do with like the main chunk of our show. So either the main chunk of our show sucked and they couldn't make a lot of good video clips from it, or that's the second clip, which, okay, fine. So we're going to download it as it is, and then we'll get it posted. We'll see how well it does. Let's take a look at the third one. Organic and fun, our unique approach to content creation. 96 out of 100, an A for hook, A for flow, A- for engagement, and B for trend. Again, this doesn't sound like what our main show was about, so let's just see what this clip is all about.
But it's been organic, and I think that's what's been super fun about it is Brian and I purposely are trying to make it a little organic and fun, and that's why we don't share things with each other sometimes. Like sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but it just seems to make it more fun. And so we were trying to find a way to like organically go topic to topic, and so far it's been working out pretty well. And I think there's ways to connect on these episodes.
So that was a long discussion of how Greg and I try not to converse and talk about subject matter that the upcoming show is going to be about beforehand, because we want to keep it fresh for the show, right? To talk about it and text each other about what we thought about the McCarthy documentary Brats. And Greg had actually texted me, he said, hey, what'd you think about it? And this was like the day before we were going on the show. I said, well, save it for the show. So Greg and I were talking about this. So they took a 23-second clip of what we were talking about, and they're saying that is the third best short clip that they made. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. But if I'm a viewer, if I'm a listener to this show and I see this clip, I think I kind of know what you're talking about, but why does that interest me a little? The context of what we're talking about has been kind of left out. So I would have, if I were making the clip, I would go back to us talking about Greg texting me, asking me about what I thought of the documentary, and then me saying, hey, save it for the show, and then roll into what Greg just said. But instead, they just gave me a 23-second clip of Greg talking about something, but out of context. I don't think that's a good clip. Let's just keep going until we get to a clip that the main show is about. I hope it's soon. Clip number 4. What to watch next, exploring different content for different moods. A-, A-, and B for trend. It's a 95 out of 100. This is a number 4 clip. Looks like it's a 38-second clip, so let's just listen. What are we watching next? Is this one to where we're watching in the living room? Is this the content that we watch in the living room, or is it? I'm going to pause this real quick. This is the second video in a row now to where the caption is right over my face. This is the AI from Opus Clip AI that the caption the first couple, I believe, if we were to scroll back, the captions were fine. The captions were in between the top and bottom video, right? The third ranked clip, they had the caption over my face. I didn't say anything as we were watching it, but I noticed. I was like, well, I'm just going to save it. I'm not going to go in and edit. That's not the purpose of this right now. But if I were making it and fixing it, I would have to go in and fix that within their editor. But if the video's the same, it's just one long video of Greg on top and I'm on the bottom. How does it place the caption right over my face? See, this is the frustrating part of Opus Clip. And this is when I get other podcasters that reply back to me when I say the Opus Clip it's not ready for Showtime. Definitely not worth paying for, I don't think. And they're like, oh, it works great for us. Then how? What am I doing wrong? All right, let's look at number 4 again. This is the one that we go to bed in bed.
That's Bridgerton. That's Bridgerton.
Oh, is that Bridgerton for you guys?
No, I'm just kidding. No, she's watching that by herself.
Yeah, I tried that for I think one season, and I get it kind of, but I'm like, this is just not really very good. But she passed on it. Okay. And she's usually, I mean, she's all for the nostalgia also, but I think because of a lot of the critical reviews of it, and we'll get into it tonight. What are we watching next? Is this now that was a terrible clip, completely out of context. I know that's not what we just heard. Nobody can figure out what we're talking about. That's the number 4 clip. Can you tell that I'm getting frustrated? Like, I feel like I've wasted my money with Opus Clip for these credits. It's just not ready. Can it work for those of us that don't want to make video clips and you're just looking to throw something out there? Then yeah. If you lower your bar enough, you can probably get by. If you want it to do most of the work and then you go in and edit it, that could be a way to do it. I'll give you that. Let's go to number 5. It's just progressively getting worse. Number 5, exploring the Bratz documentary, Nostalgia and Our Youth. So finally, we're into what the main meat of our show was about. Episode 9, breaking down McCarthy's Bratz documentary. Finally, number 5. Let's listen to it. They gave it a 94 out of 100, a B for a hook, A- for flow, A- for engagement, A- for trend. And I'll tell you, like this thing for hook, and why I think all of this is just kind of fluff. If you go through and, when we read through the grades, B hook on this one, the one before, A- the hook, A for a hook on number 3, I think it's all bullshit. Because there hasn't been one clip that we've had that had a decent hook at all, or had any hook, I don't think. Number 5, it's saying it's a B hook. So this has to be awful then. If the ones that were graded A-, A, and they weren't really hooks and they weren't very good, let's just see what number 5 is. So our 5th best clip is finally pulling something from the main meat of our podcast. Let's listen.
We went to Nashville last weekend, but on like early this week, Monday or Tuesday, I've been seeing it. I wanted to watch it. The Bratz documentary. I was like, oh, I want to check that out. I was a big fan of those movies and those guys.
Stop. Hook was a B, right? The hook is the first 3 seconds to grab your attention to get you to listen. That's basically what the clip is kind of going to be about. It's something that brings you in and you're like, okay, I got to find out more. The beginning of the video was Greg saying they had gone to Nashville, which is nothing about it. It's just that it was point A to B of when they made the determination that they wanted to watch the documentary, which I guess, okay. But is that a hook? For the usual, the average listener or somebody that's going to come across this clip on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, they don't know Greg. They don't know me. Maybe if they're from Nashville, they hear Greg say, "Oh, we're on our way to Nashville." They're like, "Oh, okay, well, there's a hook." Maybe.
And it's just our childhood, I feel, or my youth, I guess, not childhood, but like our youth and growing up. And like, so I was like, we checked it out. Rachel watched it with me. And so I sent it to you and just thought, as I heard people discussing it, on different like outlets, I was like, maybe we should chat about this. Be a fun one to go through.
So that was a 32-second clip that there's no way I would clip that if I was doing the clips. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And I do struggle with making clips and determining like what's a good title, what's a good hook. But I have an idea of what would make me stop to want to listen more, to find out more. That wasn't it. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Number 6, the impact of targeted social media advertising algorithms and you. 93 out of 100 score. B for the hook, A- for the flow, A- for engagement, A- for the trend. It's a 55-second clip. Again, the caption is right over my face, as it was on that last one. Let me go back to number 5 and just make sure I download that one too, because I want to upload these as they are, and make sure people know these are the top 6 clips that Opus Clip made for me without any editing on my behalf, and let people just see. Maybe these will be viral. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's listen. Well, I know you had sent me the message if I had seen the documentary Bratz, and I had heard about it because I saw the buzz. And I think with targeted advertisement on social media for people that are like us, our age, and I do think that the algorithms are picking up on a lot of the things that you and I talk about on our show, because Iller and Filthier, we've touched on a lot of different things, but it's definitely so. I think they were kind of pushing it heavy towards people like us, anyways.
Then the algorithms like just pepper me with OJ stuff now,
and I saw the thing with Bratz, and then I know I had inquired with my spouse, my wife. I said, "Hey, can we get this in the rotation?" Because it's a constant debate.
Yeah, what are you watching? Yeah.
So what that's trying to explain is it kind of piggybacks off the last one of Greg coming up with the idea of wanting to watch the documentary Bratz. And then this is kind of my side of the story of coming around and saying, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But there's nothing in this clip. It's so poorly edited. And I feel like if I were to post and release it, let me download this, make sure I don't forget. Unedited, like if I don't go and do anything extra to it and I post this out there as an example of Opus Clip, which is what I'm going to do, it's not a good look for Opus Clip. Now, we go back to if it's a matter of making 0 clips or putting this out, is that better? I think you can make an argument. Maybe it is. But I think if you're looking at putting content of yours out there, you want the best form of content that you can possibly make it. You don't have to be perfect. But if you just start putting out a bunch of just really average to below average clips that don't really make any sense, that could hurt you. And that's what I'm kind of saying with just letting Opus Clip have at it. These were the top 6 of the 30 clips that they made. Let's see what the very bottom clip is. Number 30, hilarious SNL sketch. Key and Peele's football player names reaction. I remember us talking about it. It was fine. Is it a clip that's representative of the show? It's representative of the segment. I saw it on the internet segment. Let's listen to it. It's 44 seconds. A- for the hook, B for the flow, B engagement, C for the trend. Okay. Yeah. Captions so in the middle, so that's good. That sketch. Then remember SNL did something similar, and I was like, how do they not know Key and Peele did this already?
It was great. Those two introduced it, because I always used to tease. I would make Rachel as much as she watches football with.
All right, I got to stop it. The title's completely wrong then. Hilarious SNL sketch, Key and Peele's football player names reaction. That's two completely different things. What I was talking about at this moment of the show, because Greg had brought up, he had a little segment to where he had 3 football player names, and I had to pick which one was the real one. And he had pulled it, I think, from Key and Peele's thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember the Key and Peele sketch. And I said, do you remember even after Key and Peele did that, SNL did the same thing? And I was curious why there was no like outrage, because it was just flat out like Key and Peele did that. So either I didn't understand they were paying homage to Key and Peele, or what the deal was, but SNL did something very similar to it. And I was like, well, that's kind of weak. That's what I was saying in the podcast. This clip is completely out of context and doesn't make any sense, especially with the title. Let's finish listening.
I mean, like, I go watch when they do. You can almost guarantee you can tell like where the player's from, and they just hit on it so well when they do these, and they just get into these crazy names. So it just cracks me up. All right, let's jump up out of here.
And then it's dead air.
You're killing it on that.
It's dead. It doesn't edit out the dead air. It's getting me so worked up that I'm choking. This is getting me so worked up. It has the capability of editing within, because we've seen some of the clips to where it's not just like 40 seconds of one long 40-second clip, which it used to be just one long clip. We just saw, and I noticed on the one right before, I think it was on clip number 6, that they were clipping a little bit between here and there, and then a little bit here and a little bit there, and they put it all together within like 40 seconds. This one here, you can tell Greg and I, we're doing a live, and so as we're switching from one frame of putting it up on the screen to another one, there's a little bit of delay because we don't have producers. So Greg's kind of working in the background trying to get his other thing up on the screen. So it's probably a good 8 to 10 seconds of just nothing. It's dead air and passing the time. They kept it in.
So I got to get more creative with my names. So we're going to get back into a little bit of saw it on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you remember that was one of the worst clips that I have seen Opus Clip give me. Now that is number 30. So granted, they're saying, hey, this of all the 30 clips we're giving you, this is number 30. But that was awful. Almost makes me want to go back to the one guy that was like, oh, Opus Clip works for me. And be like, well, show me your examples. Because these suck. I'm sorry. Just to show you, let's go through a quick 2 minutes. It's not even worth showing you like all the editing that you can do, but I just want to get you familiar with what the screen looks like. So if we were to go into, let's go to clip number 10, a random clip that we haven't looked at. Okay. The rise and fall of the Brat Pack and nostalgic look back. That sounds like something that I'd be like, hey, that was what our show was about. This would probably, let's just look at it. And this will be one where we go into the editor on it. So you guys can see that. Looking back, nostalgia wise, Brat Pack was kind of cool. I was on the other side of it to where when you say Brat Pack, the faces that pop up for me are the ones that are in Breakfast Club. That's
Yeah.
the Brat Pack to me.
Yep.
And I look back on those actors and actresses within the Brat Pack, and I do see them as, I'm going to say, because I don't have a better way of saying it, but as almost failures, that they didn't reach their full potential for whatever reason, whether they weren't good enough or maybe they were kind of typecast a certain way and they couldn't break that mold. Looking back, so that the topic of what we're talking about was a good one. Opus Clip didn't do a very good job of editing me down. There's a lot of delay, a lot of filler. If you take a lot of that out, it flows a little bit better, but then it still doesn't have a complete thought process, a complete clip. This is one of the better clips. It's one of the better ones, but this is one that I'd still have to go in and edit. So let's go ahead and do that, okay? So we're going to hit this little pencil. We're going into the editor, and the editor has had a big upgrade, a big, to where you can go in and kind of adjust some things. So you're seeing, let's see, we got a thing that says what's new. A whole bunch of stuff that's new. A whole lot of stuff that I don't think any one of us wants to get into at this point, because the today's video is long enough just going through what the clips look like. Maybe we'll do a part 2 where we actually edit within the editor here. That's probably a better idea. Or else this video is going to be like, it's too much. So you're seeing the part that they clipped, you're seeing in text format. And so what you can do is you can highlight, delete, remove the part of the video where you're talking. So you're actually just seeing the words. So that makes it a little easier on editing. When you're editing, like, you can see the paragraph and the words. And another thing is you can remove the caption to it, adjust the caption if it spelled something wrong. It hears it wrong, so you can go in and spell it correctly. And another thing that we'll have to look into when we do the editing is adding B-roll to it. So you can add B-roll clips. So as you're talking, and let's say you talk about the soundtrack to some of these Brat Pack movies that we were talking about, and then maybe you insert a B-roll of a record player, somebody putting a record on the record player. I'm not going to do it right now. We'll save that for when we do the editing. But you can do that. The problem is, when I tried doing that the last time, the B-roll stuff wasn't very good either. So I did a few videos where I added B-roll, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But once you got over the shiny new toy that you're using as far as the B-roll stuff and what you get to select from, it's almost like you're shoehorning it in for no reason, because there's not really good clips for you to do. You're better off doing your video and then going out on Google and finding clips that are a little more better representative of what you're thinking of or what you're saying on your video, and then inserting those that way. But you can do it here. And then you can also adjust like the size of the two videos. You can move the caption. So like the problem that I had before, to where the caption was over my face, you can come in and fix it and just move it up. Is it hard to do? No. But it's kind of a pain in the ass, especially when you're thinking, well, if it's doing it right here, and there's only one video format I'm giving it, the whole video is all vertical with me on top and Greg on the bottom, or vice versa, something like that. How this got flipped, I'm not sure. So it randomly flipped Greg, because usually what I do is I have Greg on top and I'm on the bottom. On this particular clip, they're like, hey, let's sex it up a bit and move Brian to the top, which is fine. But they're able to do that and put the caption in the middle, which is the right place. And then on half of the clips that we watched, the caption was over my face. This is AI. You see what I was saying before. It's not ready. And it's a neat idea. I don't at this point feel that it is worth paying any money to use this. Would I recommend it to people? Probably not. Other than if you're wanting to start a live show or a podcast and you're like, I want video clips, but I don't know how to do it. Fine. Pay for something like this and learn how to edit within their editor if you want, and then kind of fix it up a little bit. And then let it do most of the heavy lifting of just kind of pulling the clips for you, or just using what they have and then and throwing them out there if that's what you want to do too. But for anybody else that are really serious about their show and really want to put their best foot forward in their content and what they're putting out there, you almost can't use this. They've made some updates and changes from 3 months ago. I'll give them that. This is still very disappointing. Get me out of this editor. All right, so the next test is what we're going to do is I'm going to post these clips that we went over. I think we went over 6 or 7 of them. And I'm going to post, and in the caption, I'm going to say these are Opus Clip examples. So we're not really looking at these as clips of the show. We're looking at these as clip reviews of Opus Clip. And we'll see how well they do. My guess is they'll do just as well as the ones that I edit, which is not very good. I think they'll get the same amount of kind of views. But I think putting this stuff out there would hurt us in the long run if I was putting it out as legitimate clips, as opposed to under the umbrella of we're looking at Opus Clip and what it does. Here's an example, clip number 5. Then I think it has value to people that are looking at Opus Clip or looking to compare Opus Clip to other AI clip generators. Then it has value. As a clip for our show, 0 value whatsoever. And I was there. It's my show. And I'm hugely disappointed in these clips. And listening through it, if you were to check out our show through these clips, I'd be so embarrassed. They are so bad. If your experience with Opus Clip is different, or you guys have a way of making it work better for you, maybe there's a way to massage this a little better. Let me know. If you're from Opus Clip and you want to work with me and help me out, try to make me understand maybe I'm doing something wrong. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. You upload your video, you tell it what kind of clips you need, and then boom, it gives you 30 clips. The clips just aren't very good. So that is the update on Opus Clip for June 2024. If you're a podcaster, live show, streamer, whatever, and you need to make shorter clips for TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you don't have time, you're not good at editing or whatever, here's the example for Opus Clip. If there's another program, another AI program out there that does it, let me know and we'll check it out. Opus Clip just isn't it right now. It's a bummer. I was hoping that the update would be something like we need to give it a chance. But I can tell you, I'm not coming back and using my credits anytime soon. Like, I may lose my credits, which is a bummer. You see it at the top, 48 hours of credits. So, all right, that's Opus Clip AI. Let me know what you think. We'll talk to you later.